Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing today? It's Friday in the UK, which means the weekend is upon us, and I thought I'd come up with a great little tip for you guys and girls out there that are just starting out in the model railway business, and maybe you're an old expert at it. But anyway, I'm going to share my ideas with you today. Hopefully it'll give you some inspiration and some tips and some ideas. That's the name of the game. Anyway, I'll get on with it. So I had a problem with my goods yard, and it's a simple problem that most people will encounter when building model railways. Lack of space and how to do prototypical shunting. Now, in my setup here, as you can see, I've got 4 sidings, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one nearest to the right of the camera is the longest siding in the goods yard, which is mainly used quite a lot for bringing in wagons and trains and uncoupling and so forth. Now the uncoupling ramp, which is where my little reel of solder wire is, that works fine. The train comes in, stops there, uncouples, and the train then can just run forward down to the stops. That's all well and good. But then in real life you'd have a pilot engine, which is basically something like that. I'm using the pannier as an example. The pilot loco will then come out and then run round, and on the rear of the train would pick up what's been uncoupled and then shunt it and sort it and so forth to what needs to be done. And the problem is with doing that, if you do that with a loco at the end, the loco is going to move at the same time as the loco behind, and it's going to recouple the train, and you're going to get nowhere. So there was 2 options I thought about doing. Number 1 was to put a run round loop in, which would consist of 2 Hornby right hand standard point turnouts. One roughly where the kiosk is, in that area, crossing over to that road there, and then obviously we'd run round on this second track, coming in, and there's the end of the run round loop back onto the siding. However, if this area here was occupied by the rear of the train, it would foul the run round loop, and there's no way the train could actually get round the back end of the train to pull it out. So the other option was to put in a self-isolating section, which I've done over here and I'll show you. All shall be revealed. So if I just bring the camera in like this, lift this up, it looks a bit messy, but I'm going to paint these wires and weather them in so you'll never know they're there. Really easy to do. This is why I said to you in one of the previous videos that I recently uploaded, if you can, ask mum or dad, if you're the younger generation, to get a Dremel tool for you, and use an adult to use it if you're not sure about it. But basically the Dremel tool is the most handiest tool you will ever use in building your layout. As you can see, what I've done with my Dremel tool, it's a high-speed rotary tool, which means it's got a cutting disc normally in the attachments and the tools that come with it. It's very, very powerful, and it does the job lovely, and as you can see, it cuts through that rail like butter. Let me zoom in for you. Bit better, that's better, isn't it? As you can see, it's done a reasonably decent job. I just cut through the rail there. As you can see, there's a break there, and that break is electrically isolated now between those 2 wires. The 2 wires there, the red one on the left and the black on the right, they run underneath the baseboard and up underneath to a switch. But now I have the choice of isolating this siding and keeping it dead or energizing it. And how I used that method was simply, as mentioned, cut through the rail with a Dremel anywhere you like, where you want the section to be isolated. In my case, it's the end of the sidings there, because that's obviously where the loco's going to go up as far as after it's unhooked the train. It's going to wait there. That little brake section there, the wires go underneath the baseboard, and they come up to this little switch that I've just fitted there in the self-made little panel I've made. And that little switch, that little black lever switch, very simple on-off switch. That's all you want, is a little on-off switch. I got mine out of one of these. Hang on, where is it? This is out of my little girl's bedroom. She's going to throw it away. Little Paw Patrol. It's supposed to light up with an LED inside at the time, and on the base was the LED inside with a little bit of wiring, obviously the switch. Obviously we're going to throw this away now, and the switch I kept out of there, and it now is in use for that. So it's a very simple, cheap little on and off switch. That's all you want, and I'll show you the principle how this works now. Right, okay, just pause that a minute while I've got the power switched on and did a little bit of organisation. But anyway, if I bring the train in off the main line now, and I'm going to bring it up to the uncoupling ramp there. Here she comes. It's just got a single cattle wagon behind it. Bring it there, unhook it, and then draw it forward, down to the stops. Now, watch what happens. If I then, by the powers of electricity, flick this switch, you can see it, flick it over to the left, we can now just go over here, and if I set these points, we can then bring the pilot engine out by reversing the power. Bring that out of the way. Then just change the points. And then if I get this angle, you'll see what goes on. Right, now we can pick that up, and that's not moving. It's not moving, it's still there. We can then bring that out like that, come over here, and we can just switch those points, and we'll put it on, I think we'll stick it on the loading dock. So apologies for the camera angle, but I'm just proving how the principle works. Alright, so there we go. That's now there. Now if I come out and just change points the other end, and just to prove to you it all works, if I then put the controller in reverse, wind it up reasonable amount, at the moment I've got current going through the rails up until that point where the pair of wires are, and that obviously that loco there is dead electrically. This piece of track here, excuse the finger, but this bit of track from where the wires are onwards this direction, this is all dead as a door now. If I flick the switch that energises that bridge across there, watch what happens. There she goes, a rapid exit. And if I bring it back in, it's going to come at a rapid rate of knots, but there's a fail-safe device, he says. There it is. You see that? I had the controller notched up pretty fast, but as soon as it hit that gap there, it couldn't go across there because it entered a dead section. And the only way to do that is just to re-energise the wires. Like so. I've just turned it off, but as you can see, if I do it again, now it's just hit the stops and it's going round. So there's power going through those rails. If I flick it off again, no power. There's power. No power. There's power. So as you can see, it's a very simple little principle, and all you got to do, guys and girls, just get yourself a Dremel tool or a very sharp junior hacksaw, and just carefully cut a hole, what's a hole should I say, just cut across one rail. So you cut through one rail. It's not a hole as such, it's actually a full cut through one rail. But you get the idea anyway, don't you? It's very simple. 2 wires either side of the brake, put that through to an on and off switch. You don't need to connect it up to any transformers or any power supply. It works basically as a switch, a standalone switch. It's just basically an on-off switch in your circuit. So all you're doing is creating a break in that particular siding. Very simple, and I hope I've explained it as easy as possible. But what a great way, because now what we can do something like this. Watch this. We could even, if I bring this camera out and I'll show you this nifty little trick. Let me set the points so we're going the right way, and if I bring that out there like that, and then if I bring it out of shot, I'll show you another little nifty trick that I've learnt now to do with this. If I then flick the points back, those ones there, which goes back to the siding, if I then bring it down, we've now got two isolated locos. So not only is the pannier sitting there, but the 040 is sitting there, and they're both dead. But behind the pannier, the track is all live. So I could bring in a third loco to actually stable there. So you could store technically 3 locos if you wanted to, or at least 2. So that's a good little idea. Very simple for storage ideas and great fun for shunting. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the little idea that I came up with. Well, certainly it's been out for around a while, and certainly is a great idea for the railway as such. Anyway, that's me waffling on, as you can see. I haven't had my tea yet, that's why. Anyway, it's a simple little idea, guys and girls, and I hope you enjoyed the principle of the thing. And more importantly, I want you out there to go and try it on your layout. Doesn't matter how big your layout is, whether it's a modest small little layout or a massive layout you're building. Have a go, because it really does work, and it's damn cheaper than going out and buying the self-isolating Hornby sections, because it's, to me, they're asking too much money for these sort of things. Well, when it's more fun when you can do it yourself. Anyway, like I said, if you haven't got a Dremel tool, a pair of track cutters, or certainly a nice junior hacksaw blade will work a little bit easier. But the Dremel does a faster job basically. Anyway, hope you have a good weekend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Have it.